Let's fucking go. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. This is a big one. This is a really big one. We've been waiting for this for not months. We've been waiting for this for years. This is all culminating to come together to, our brain power, our ideas, everything is finally coming to fruition. And we're very excited to be here with you. Thank you to everybody who is in the live stream. Thank you to those who are chatting on Twitch, the Financial Summit YouTube channel. Welcome in. And then, of course, the Black Box YouTube channel as well. And anybody watching the replay on Twitter, we're also live streaming to Twitter as well. So in today's video, we're going to keep it, we're going to keep the TA a little bit short, and we're going to kind of treat this as us putting money into the bot, showing you how the bot works, introducing you to the dashboard. And this will be kind of the preliminary tutorial until I can produce some more succinct and well-produced video tutorials and accompanying PDFs for you to get set up. That being said, it's very easy to set up the bot. The hardest part is getting the API connection, which a lot of people have already connected. If you set up our original bot, Black Box, you're good to go. You're ready to set the bot up if you have that API connection already established. Matt, how are we feeling?
Yeah, really great, mate. Thank you, Baloo. Thank you, Financial Summit viewers, and thank you, Black Box viewers. This is, as Baloo said, a big day for us. We've been working on this since the Financial Summit in Bali 2 years ago when we met for the first time. We'd been working together for about 5 years prior to that, but when we met and decided with the team to build out a fully automated system based on the alphanumeric system and iterations thereafter. Today is really exciting because we are officially live as it stands right now. And actually, hopefully the bot actually enters a trade throughout this show because we're on the cusp of entering a trade right now, which is really serendipitous. So hopefully that kicks off.
Hopefully the bots are installed before the trade kicks off.
Yeah, so you should stop this stream right now and install the bot because we're going to get a trade on probably in the next hour, which is really exciting. As Baloo mentioned, that we'll do a bit of TA just to while the people get in and see what we think of the markets in overall, and then Baloo will run through how to install the bot, how to set up the bot, and how easy it is on the actual website and the interface. So, thank you again for joining. It means a lot to us. This is a special day for the Black Box team. Without any further ado, please take it away, Baloo, mate.
All right, so let's start off with a little bit of TA. So for those of you who joined into the live stream on last week's show, we introduced my current interpretation of the trading range that we're looking at. And I come from a background of Wyckoff. Now, Wyckoff is kind of an interesting method. I honestly don't recommend that you use it. It takes so long. It's very interpretive and it's not great for bias. I actually think for actionable trading events, alphanumerics, the indicator that Matt has created, is it's a lot easier to learn and it's a lot more definitive in its actions that you need to take. That being said, I do come from an extensive amount of study from the Wyckoff method, and I do like to analyze these trading ranges from time to time. In the previous show, we were talking about this area right here, which in Wyckoff is known as a creek. You can simply just define it as a downward sloping line of resistance, which often appears in the markets, and we've had a breakout above that level. In the previous show, I said, from a Wyckoff point of view, until we take out that local high, I don't consider it a buy signal. But given the strength of the move off of this spring and the short-term higher high and higher low structure that we're seeing here, this is a buy signal as far as a Wyckoff accumulation is concerned. There is another buy signal up here for those that want to pay for confirmation and just be a little bit more tentative with your entries. We do expect a consolidation at the upper end of the range at the resistance, which would be that traditional point at which you would take a breakout trade should we continue up to higher levels. So, there's still opportunity to get exposure to this market. But overall, my analysis of Bitcoin currently is quite bullish. I'm bullish on the market. I'm bullish on the sentiment that we've seen most recently, because the sentiment was extremely negative, and I often take the other side of that trade. And I'm bullish on the structural signals that I'm seeing from a TA point of view, looking at this through the lens of the Wyckoff method.
Yeah, but Baloo, if you don't mind me jumping in,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
went through this Wyckoff accumulation. Was that what you'd call it, Baloo?
yes, yeah.
On Friday's show, which I thought was a fantastic show. We won't go through that again, but I'm not a Wyckoff guy, as I mentioned on Friday's show, but what Baloo presented to us on Friday made me wish that I was more of a Wyckoff guy, and I'm going to pay more attention to it. That the comparison there between the real life price action and that the image you've posted at the bottom there of the Wyckoff accumulation, to me is unbelievable. It looks like you've tailor made that in post to retroactively fit over the charts. I really, really respect it. And when I go through my analysis, I'm going to go through, as I did on Friday, once again, just to reconfirm 6 things that I'm looking at right now that all really, really tie together with what you presented here and brought to us. And I even mentioned on Friday's show how impressed I was with you and your analysis down there prior to the spring. Even like Tone and I on our shows, classically charting, we're not bullish at that point. Putting in that lower low prior to the spring, I was bullish for the market long term,
Yeah.
and I certainly pointed out a really good trade when we had a well-defined and a stop loss in place there at the low. But you on your channel, on the Black Box channel, were one of the real bulls, and you had a reason to be, and I was very impressed by that, Blue. And I know I'm pumping your tires here, but it is playing out really, really nicely. Kudos to you for that, mate.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's Wyckoff's weird. It really is weird, because nowhere else will you ever find any technical indicator that takes out a swing low and says, "Oh, get ready, because we're gonna have a big move." And it's really, it takes a long time to learn Wyckoff, because the biggest thing about Wyckoff is you can post all of these labels and you can kind of see what you want to see. So it does take a lot of discipline and understanding your bias, which brings me back to sentiment. One of the biggest things that that the Wyckoff method tries to pin down is, what is smart money doing? And when we look at the fundamentals of what smart money is doing, smart money is buying Bitcoin. And every time we went to the lower end of the range, you saw good buying. Like, look at all these wicks. Beautiful wick, downside wick, downside wick, downside wick, downside wick. Smart money is buying. The bulls are there. They're just not, what's happening is dumb money is selling to smart money. The sentiment from retail was so negative. There was literally a very large cohort of individuals who was saying, not only is this going to go down, the bull market's over. We're done. We're heading into a 2-year bear market. So retail sentiment was incredibly low, while we were seeing signs of accumulation, while we were seeing, news articles of so-and-so company buying spot Bitcoin here and there. Smart money was buying from dumb money. And that's what we are about to get a very clear confirmation of, if this continues to follow this kind of orange dot roadmap here for what I expect to see next. Shall we take a look at your charts, and you can go through some of your points?
Yeah, I'd love that, mate. This is on the 15-minute time frame. This is bang box, but we'll end with that. I'll pull up some of the things that I typically see and I look at on the Financial Summit channel on the Daily High with Tone Vase, who I have to give a special thanks to. I hope he's watching now and in the live chat. Tone is a big factor in all of this, and he got us together, and he's just been great. Okay, we've just had, starting on the weekly time frame right here, we've just had the new week open an hour and 15 minutes ago, and we couldn't ask for a better weekly close. Let's be honest. my modified lucid SAR has now moved down, and we are in striking distance of that as it stands right now. It's 68,800. We're on the doorstep. And the comparison, and the comparison I wanted to make with that Wyckoff schematic. Did you have that on the daily time frame?
Yeah, that was on the daily.
Brilliant. Let's have a look at it on the daily as just a comparison there. And this is why I love Alpha Numerics, because we went the wave turned red back here, and that's a signal just to raise cash, be out of the market, save yourself from all of this chop zone where the wave is red, and we're not macro bullish. We're in a holding pattern until the wave turns green again. But as I've said, anyone who's familiar with my work, and there's a lot of people watching now that follow, what I do quite closely, when that wave is green, you need exposure to Bitcoin. You want to have exposure to Bitcoin, as much exposure as you can handle when that wave is green. It's fine to raise cash and to be looking for lower lows and whatnot when the wave is red. Absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. But when that wave is green, don't lament the missed opportunity of not getting in at 56,000, 53, 50, whatever. Forget about all that. The mood has changed. We are now macro bullish, and we're right there. We're on the doorstep. I had 6
points
things
away, ticks away. Just we're ready to go through it.
I think that it's possible that it'll happen today, but we'll see. We had a great close here on the week. I could definitely see us pulling back and retesting this 7 simple moving average. I mean, it can do anything, but that's at 66,400. So we have got a good distance between the mark price as it stands, and then to get back to retest this 7 simple moving average on the daily, which the price hugs. It hugs it. It's always floating around it. It'll always retrace back. It'll always touch it. Somebody made a comment on one of the statements I made like 6 months ago, where they said it doesn't have to do anything, because I said it has to come back and retest the 7, and they said it doesn't have to do anything. It has to do it. It will always do it, whether or not it's at this price or it's up here. It'll never be far away from the 7 simple moving average. I designed it that way in Alpha Numerics, that this is my fast moving average. The price will always be above or below it, and that's just a reversion to the mean. It'll always do it, whether or not it's at this price or higher. I have to reiterate that fact. So it makes sense to me that we're having a pullback as the market opens, because we had such a fantastic rally into the weekly close. But this is all eyes on this right now, because either this will come back down and have a retest of the 7 here before it works its way back up, spooking a lot of people out of this trade while the smart money reaccumulates, or it'll just bounce from about here in the first 4 hours of the week, and then start its run up for having a sensational week. I'm really, really excited to see how that plays out. So on Friday's show, and on Friday's Financial Summit as well, I reviewed it, even though my internet wasn't working at the time. I've got 6 things that I'm looking for right now. 6 things that are all going to happen, and I said it on Friday's show, that I think could happen in the same week, which is just fantastic, because it's like the 6 things that I look for to be completely locked and loaded bullish at all times. So we'll go through them in order. On the weekly time frame, the weekly MRI green star candle. So right now we have the opportunity that if this starts trading so close to the price that it currently is, and hang out for the Financial Summit show tonight to hear Tone talk about this, that as soon as we get above 68,325, so a $400 move from the current price, you will get a weekly green star candle on the MRI. Absolutely what we want to see. Like, this wasn't a terrific one, but the price still moved, as it was tradable. But that was in consolidation. This is a breakout of consolidation. I can see it being more like these kind of green star candles, where the thing can just rocket thereafter. So that's number 1. Number 2, Alpha Numerics green wave flip, which I mentioned already in the show. That's at this dot right here. I don't know if you can see it. I can certainly make them bigger, so you can get a really good.
Just zoom in.
Yeah, I can just change this to make it bigger here. Give me 1 second. Bang. A break of that star right there at any point throughout the week. Now, these are modified Lucid SARs, they're more exponential. They can move intra-week where the typical Lucid SAR cannot. We can break it in an hour if we want to. That's my second thing I'm looking for. That Wyckoff crossing the creek, which we've done. That's done. Baloo mentioned that earlier in the show. The EXA on the weekly time frame, which is Socrates' EXA. I'd been pointing this out for months, or weeks at least, that we had that cross already down here at below minus 1.5, which is a really good place to cross. We don't want to see the crosses, up high. Obviously, that can't happen, but we could have a consolidation and then a cross up here. It's crossing from a really low vantage point, which I love to see. Here. That's a bit higher, but it still had a good move with it. That one crossed and was rejected. I was really bullish here, but I love it that it comes down even lower, and we got the cross. EXA, Socrates' EXA, has crossed over. Now, the Copic curve. Let's have a look at the Copic curve. Now, this is connected to the phantom signals. This, you want to be buying when this crosses over the zero line, like it did here, like it did here, like it did here. This is a fantastic sign of strength on the weekly time frame. It's called the Copic curve. I've built this into Alphanumerics indicator, which you can see right here with the purple phantom signals. I'll just put this on auto for a second. When these purple signals come in, like they have here, bang, that is a fantastic sign of strength. Bang. And we could get one on this candle, or especially next week's candle as well.
Everything's lining up to this one candle. We are knocking on the door of like bull market bias. We're like close.
And I've got one more to make it 6, which is just your classical charting of like a downward sloping trend line here from, hell, we can call it here, just to break through this, putting in a higher high to here. So right now we've just touched on that, which is, look at it, the Lucid SAR is where my wave would turn green is exactly at the same point. So we could have the green star candle, just to go through, reiterate, we could have the green star candle, the wave flip on Alphanumerics green. We could have we've already had the crossing of the creek on the Wyckoff. We've already had the EXA crossing. We could get the purple phantom signal come in on Alphanumerics. We can break this downward sloping trend line all in the same bloody week. I've never seen anything like it. I have never seen anything like that. Everything, all the stars aligning at the same point. It is absolutely exciting. This might happen live on air as we speak. Now that they've got to wait for the weekly candle to close, obviously, for a lot of those things like the green star on the MRI. But I don't have any stronger conviction than looking at 6 things that I value so dearly. I put my life on the line with these 6 things. And geez, I sound like a Kiwi when I'm saying 6 for some reason today. But I'm really excited about that. Baloo, that's the end of my weekly analysis here, as that I would normally do on the daily high. Let's have a gander, unless you want to talk about something else. I'd love to see what Black Box is looking like right now, if you indulge me.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. So Bangbox runs on the 15-minute time frame, which is it's a more high frequency bot. It probably on average puts on a trade every other day, which is really great. And it's got a heap of different metrics that go into what it looks like. But I'm going to show you the last trade that we made here, which was a 24.5% trade. And let's just review this for a second. So we had the reset, which came down below this moving average right here. The trade got entered right here, and it had an initial stop loss put in, at a conservative level, which I'm going to zoom in even closer on that, if you like, to get it really, really clear to see. So this is the dream trade that Bangbox can deliver. And they're not all like this good, but this is a really good one. And it's just the last one we had. So the trade was entered here, and an initial stop loss was placed here. So you got built-in protection already, okay? As soon as the candle started moving past our initial entry point, bang, the trailing stop loss was put in at, including fees, that's probably a break-even trade, or probably it could even be a slightly in profit trade as it stood right there. We came really close to getting out of that trade at break even or slightly above break even, but we were able to stay in the trade. By the time we got to here and cross this take profit zone, that is already a 20% profit because the bang box utilizes 10x leverage. So that's a 2% move from your initial entry to the take profit zone. And so you've locked in at least 20% on that trade. Now, something really great happens in the back end here. The trailing stop, once we get past this, immediately reverts to a callback trailing stop rather than a traditional trailing stop that just trails the price as it moves up. Something reverts in the engine of Bangbox here. So now it's looking for a 1% callback. So this can run on and you can stay in the price, but as soon as it gets a 1% pullback, that's when it will exit the price, which it did right here. We got out of the trade and the price went down and meandered thereafter, which was great. We pulled out 24.5% on that trade. Absolutely sensational.
24.5% added to your account, getting ready for the reset for the next trade.
And that's right. Bangbox also has a really, really great engine that it 100% rolls over every single trade. So we have 2 iterations of Bangbox that are released today. We have and Baloo will talk about this later, the USDT trading pair. So every single time you trade, you're trading it with Bitcoin USDT. It'll roll your USDT profit over into every trade. So if you started with $10,000, a 20% profit on that trade, your next trade will be $12,000. That's just a basic thing. The other thing that we have, which I highly recommend you investigate, is a coin margin bot. So it'll just to be a Bitcoin accumulator. So it'll roll the Bitcoin that you make in the same way that it does with USDT. It's a bit more complex if you're not familiar with the system, but ideally, that I always trade coin margin because I believe that Bitcoin is going to be higher one day than $68,000. I know it can go lower, and I know it can go higher. So I want to get as much Bitcoin as I can for the day we're over 100,000, $1 million, whatever. I'm not concerned. I just want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I can. So you can view Bangbox as a Bitcoin accumulator. If you load it up with a certain amount, say you put 0.1 in it to begin, just set it, forget it, leave it for 1 year, leave it for 2 years, leave it for 5 years, and just let it roll over every single trade. It'll do every other day. You'll be in a trade. Some trades will lose, but you've got a limit. You've got a cap on how much you could possibly lose because it's got an initial stop loss in place, and it trails the price up. So your losses are minimal. Your break evens are regularly happening, and your profits are coming in regularly as well. The system wins more trades than it loses, and the winning trades are higher in comparison to the amount that you've risked in each trade as well. So it's exponential that the way that this thing can compound and roll over every single trade. It is absolutely brilliant in that sense. I've seen hundreds of bots that I've reviewed. Some of them are better performers than mine. Most of them are way worse than mine, and ours. But none of them utilize that I've seen this compounding 100% rollover functionality. And you might say, Matt, why are you telling us this? I can just go out. You've explained the bot completely transparently. I just go out and make my own. I say, go for it. Go out and spend a year developing your own bloody bot that does exactly what I'm already offering you for free. Why would you do that? Do you have any idea how hard it is to build these bots?
And bang your computer right off the freaking desk if you keep this.
We're giving you this bot for free. You can just use this one. You don't have to make your own bot. And if you join in as an affiliate of ours, you can profit share. The same. We'll give you 50%. If you bring on 20 people, introduce as a sub-affiliate of ours, we share the commission. So you don't even have to build it. You can just say, here's a bot that's already works. Here's 20 of my friends. Now you get 50% commission of the trade commission. This bot is free. We make our money from the exchange. So every time you trade, it costs money to, an exchange fee. The exchange pays us. And if you become a sub-affiliate of ours, you can share in the profit share without having to build a bot or have any of the responsibility that we have for building this thing. it just sells itself. It's just such a great gift for you. Now, finally, I'll do a bit of this before we go any further, Blue. There are two iterations of the bot that I mentioned that are coming to you today, which is the USDT bot and the coin margin bot. It's dealer's choice which one of those bots that you use. But there's also the other internal feature that you have to choose. Bangbox is designed to have two options other than the pairing that you use. It is to run the bot only when the wave is green, because it's a long only bot. So if you want to just be out of the market completely when the wave is red, I don't blame you. If you want to have the bot on just when the wave is green, I'm just repeating myself to make it clear. This is an absolute fantastic product to have for just when the wave is green.
Instead of going through these settings, which people aren't going to have access to, can you just pull up a chart of alphanumerics and just kind of just show the green wave and the red wave again? I mean, there are a lot of people who are familiar with alphanumerics, but in this context, we can just show you exactly what we mean. There's two bots. One trades 24/7. Yep. The other one only trades alphanumerics green waves, which are typically uptrends, typically more favorable trading conditions.
I'll do that right now, Blue, and thank you for reining me in. I was getting pretty ahead of myself. So this is, I'm just zoom back in time and we can have a look at alphanumerics. We have the red wave and the green wave. So this is, we're going back to 2019 right now. When the wave is green, we are in an uptrend, a macro bullish environment. When the wave is red, we don't have to go down, but we're either going trending sideways. We're no longer in that long-term bullish mindset. We are, in fact, looking for green diamonds, which is the absolute perfect time to buy when the wave is red. I'm looking for either 3-day or weekly green diamonds when the wave is red. That's my go-to. But we're just focus on the green and red wave. It's really, really simple. The way alphanumerics is designed, you could show this to your mom and she'll understand what we're looking at here. When that wave turns red, remember, these are weeks. You can be in a downtrend for weeks, for months and months and months. You just want to be out, clean out. When the wave is green, you want to be long. When the wave is red, you want to be out. So this is the ideal situation. The wave turns green and stays green for absolutely months, and the price goes parabolic, essentially parabolic, and then gets you out here where you can just go back to cash again. In this period here, you can turn Bangbox on, and so just the green wave time, and you're just doing all these long trades. Every second day, you're long, accumulating infinite amounts, 100% rolled over, just an absolute accelerator for months on end. And then you can just turn it off and avoid taking long trades when the wave is red. Absolutely the best way to run Bangbox, okay? It gets the best profit factor you could possibly imagine. It's the best iteration of Bangbox. Now, I'm going to go back to the charts I was looking at before to show you that what it looks like on the back tester. Now, as I'm loading this, I want you to really understand back testing results are in a vacuum. It doesn't account for slippage. It doesn't account for
it doesn't account for fees, spread, slippage. Yeah. There's a lot of things. So real world results are typically going to be less than what you get in the back tester. Okay, so anybody that tells you the back tester is the definitive results is embellishing a little bit. So
they're embellishing a lot, because I can make my initial capital here $1 million and have 10x leverage trading on it, right, and my account will look like I've just earned $1 billion. Now, there's no way I'm getting all those positions filled at exactly the tick price that I've programmed through the back tester. So take it with a grain of salt. But you can't argue with the number go up factor here that you can see. I've programmed this from the 1st of the 1st of this year. We've made and closed around 50 trades. Now, there is another problem with TradingView that we can only go back a certain amount of candles. So I can't just put this open-ended. It'll still say 50 trades. You need a deep back testing to be able to run. You have to put in the time frame, but I've just got it set for the 1st of the 1st, 50 trades, 62% profitable, a profit factor of 2.5, which is insane considering we've got 10x leverage on the positions as well. I take the leverage off that, or take the rollover off that, that a profit factor goes up to 4, which is just incredible. That we're rolling over every trade. So the drawdown is substantial at 30%, but the winning percentage is fantastic. The overall profitability is 1,149%, in a vacuum. From a $10,000 initial capital this year, $114,000. Insane, insane. That's with just trading when the wave is green and not trading at all when the wave is red. Very, very, very good results. Now, the other iteration of Bangbox that we're bringing is the always on. This takes off the alphanumerics filter, so it'll just trade all of the time. It doesn't just trade when the wave is green. You can see the profit it's made a lot more trades. It's made twice as many trades because it's been on permanently. The percentage profitable trade is less. The profit factor is less. The drawdown is the same, and the average trade is less per trade. But the overall net profit from the entire having it on permanently is higher because it is still a profitable even in the red wave. It does have more bad trades. It does make less profit? It has a less profit factor overall, but it's still profitable. So by making more trades, it's actually more profitable overall. So you can decide if you want a bot that is a high performance bot that only trades half the time, or a bot that is still very, very good and profitable overall, but is always on and actually accumulates more money overall because of the rollover functionality that's built into the sophisticated rollover function that's built into Bangbox. So as it stands right now, uh, I recommend having it on all the time, and especially right now because we're so near to having a green wave flip anyway. When that wave is green, the two bots are exactly the same as each other. All right, Baloo, I've gone on long enough without a break or a breath.
Yeah,
Take us away. What do you want to talk about?
I think we should. I think we should throw some money in the bot. Let's start the
Let's do it.
tutorial version, the tutorial section of the video. So for those who want to follow along, if you are struggling to figure it out, like I said, it's a pretty simple dashboard. But if you want to follow along, follow along. We're gonna put a couple grand into one of these coin margin bots. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at blackbox.pro. So links below for you to get signed up with any of this stuff. Links below for the Discord as well. We hope to see you in there. Not only does the Discord act as a support channel and just a place to get your questions answered, it's a great community. We have a lot of fun in there. We share a lot of thoughts. I've shared some pretty significant alpha in some of the shit coins, if you're into that sort of thing. And we just, it's a good place to hang out and connect with like-minded individuals. So I encourage you to check out the Discord. And if you don't have a Discord account, set one up. It's totally worth it. It's a great platform. I love Discord. All right. So first things first, we got to sign in. So if you haven't created an account, go over here and sign up for free. But if you've already created an account, just click sign in. Sign into the dashboard. Boom, here we are. I've already made the bot, so let's go ahead and delete that and go through the process again.
Just to reiterate, the signing up part of this is as simple as an email and verification.
Yeah.
That is the first step. And then you please explain that you must connect the API, which we, of course, in the Discord. And once you sign up, you'll get a tutorial sent to you on how to do that. That can be tricky.
Yeah, the API, if you've never set up an API before, it's not easy. I'm not going to, there's not many things that you do online that compare to that process. So you don't have a lot of experience to lean on, but we've done everything we can to provide as much support. And we understand that that is the crux of this whole thing. So if you're having troubles with the API, absolutely get into the Discord. And don't be afraid to start a support ticket. There is a channel in the Discord, start a support ticket. That is a private chat between you and the team, and we will look into everything that we need to get you through the process of getting that API set up. The good news is you only need to set up the API once. Every single bot that you connect after the API is connected, provided it's on the same exchange, will connect. So just keep that in mind, that the hard part only needs to happen one time. If you onboard other exchanges, you do have to go through the process with the exchange. Every exchange needs to connect to the dashboard in some way, and we do that with an API, but we are more than happy and willing to help you through that process. We are not going to be setting up the API today. That is a lengthier video and not something that is easy to do live. There's a lot of email verification and stuff like that, so we're not going to do that. But by all means, hop into the Discord. Okay, so once you have connected your API, you're going to see your dashboard. At the top, you should also see your account balance. If you don't see an account balance, 9 times out of 10, it means that you don't have the funds in the right account. So in order for the bot to function, the bot trades Bitcoin futures. So if you're going to be trading Tether futures or Bitcoin futures, you have to make sure that the assets are in the futures account, okay? If you don't see this, it means that, you know, something's wrong and you should probably go back to the exchange and just move the funds around. Now we're going to go to bots. And we're going to set up a bot. So we're going to go here and we're going to create a new bot. First question it's going to ask you is, which API connection do you want to use? I have only one API connection set up, and that is my BitGet API connection. Then we're going to choose the strategy. Like Matt already went through in detail just previously a moment ago, you have Bangbox, which trades 24/7. Or you have Bangbox uptrends only, which is only going to trade the green wave of alphanumerics, which is the more favorable trading conditions. Currently, the wave is red, and I do want to get into the next trade. So I'm going to select Bangbox 24/7. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the coin that we want to trade. Currently, we only support Bitcoin, but there are going to be some alts making it to the dashboard as soon as we figure out a good strategy. We've been actually working in the background to try and figure out some good altcoin strategies. The thing about alts is they're not as consistent as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price movements are a lot more consistent, and they're consistent over the whole cycle, whereas alts will kind of really die for a while, and then they'll kick into action for a shorter duration of time. So trying to find a good strategy that can trade those types of conditions has proved pretty difficult to us, but we are going to find a solution, and we will deliver that. But as it stands right now, the only asset that we are trading is Bitcoin. The margin, this is what you want to accumulate more of. If you are wanting to grow your account in dollars, choose Tether. If you are wanting to grow your account in Bitcoin, choose Bitcoin. Matt and I are both Bitcoin maxis. We're going to put Bitcoin into this bot. Then the last thing, let me just move our cameras out of the way here. There we go. Nope. There we go.
We set up a new software yesterday for this stream, so
yeah,
we're
still learning it. Is the slider. So we have a slider here at the bottom that's going to allocate how much of the trading account do you want the bot to trade. If you are going to have multiple bots on the same account, then you need to take into consideration, okay, this strategy I want 25%, this strategy I want 50%, this strategy I want the remaining 25%. So that's how you would split it up. Because we're using one bot, and because I've separated my main Bitcoin from the Bitcoin in my main account, and I've created a sub account, I'm going to do 100%, which for this bot, just to let you know, the slider only goes to 90. The reason it goes to 90 is to account for fees, slippage, and order book discrepancies. So having that remaining 10% will ensure that when the signal fires, you are going to get into that trade. If we have it at 100, there's a possibility you miss out on the trade, and you certainly wouldn't have wanted to miss out on the last trade we have. So just, Take that 10% as a little bit of a buffer. Now we're going to go ahead and create the bot. And that's it. We're done. Simple as that. The hardest part is the API, and you only need to do that once. So at this point, you'll see the status right here. The status is saying waiting for the next signal. And that's what we're doing. We're waiting for the next signal. So when I go down to the 15-minute chart, we're just waiting for Bangbox to fire. When Bangbox fires, we will be in that trade. So it's already got a few little teaser signals, some preparation signals come in, but which means we're getting close to a signal. So it looks like we made it on time. We made it before the, we created our bot before the signal fired, but that's it. If you guys have questions, please get into the Discord. We are very supportive. There's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question you can possibly ask is the one that you don't ask. We're very helpful in that server. So by all means.
I just want to make a point. Now that this bot is set up, this is not theoretical. This is real money in this 0.1 Bitcoin. We've got locked and loaded, waiting for the next trade. You can just do this and you don't have to touch it again. It is now live. It's active. It will buy, sell, trail, accumulate, roll over, ongoing, perpetually, forever until you stop the bot. And Baloo will go through the functionality of how to do that. But I highly recommend, if you want to try this bot, we have a $500 USDT dollar minimum, or a Bitcoin, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's 500 USDT minimum, or a 0.01 BTC minimum, which at the time was less than 500, and now it's more than 500. So there will be adjustments to that in the future, but yeah, those are the minimums to run the bot.
So I highly recommend, if you're uncomfortable and you don't want to take the risk, fine, put the minimum in, then just leave it. Give it a year. Give it a year to review the results. It's a rollover, and see if you can grow the account, whether it's USDT or Bitcoin, over a year or 2 years. Give yourself a target. Don't just put it in there and then play with it, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. You can do whatever you want. You have total control to do whatever you want. But I highly recommend give it yourself a time frame. You know, if that wave turns green, leave it on until the wave turns red and see what happens. You know, like that we could be in a green wave for 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, whatever. We don't know. We can't forecast. But give yourself some time. You don't have to do anything else now. You've made the effort to come and watch this show. Have some commitment to the bot and let it do its thing, and see if it can't outperform the benchmark of just buying and holding. See if it can't outperform you trading by yourself with all your emotions, with all those fear and everything else. It'll just cold, mathematical, methodical, just trade and roll over every trade.
Yeah,
so,
I
Billy,
agree.
would you
think. Sorry, what was that?
Can you show that action box drop down to show what they can do if they want to?
There's really not much for this bot. It's basically you can stop the bot. Now, stop is pausing the bot. So let's say you wanted to see how the bot performs during a green wave, like Matt said, but you don't want to use the green. You got in during the red wave and you just want to see how it performs during a green wave. Then the green wave turns to red. You can just choose to pause the bot. You don't have to delete this bot and switch it to the green wave only bot. You can stop it. You can stop this bot at any point. It's entirely up to you. But as far as controls, you can pause it or you can delete it. That's it. There's really not much you need to do. The Discord will also, if you are curious, we do encourage that this is set and forget. You really don't need to babysit this. That's the whole idea. It's truly trading on your behalf passively. But if you want to monitor, which is natural to want to monitor something new in the beginning, the signals that this bot is firing are also going to be mirrored in the Discord. So you can know when the bot has taken a trade, you can know when the bot has exited a trade, and you can know the P&L for that trade as well. Results may vary slightly, like we've mentioned before, due order book and, you know, the factors that are outside of our control on the exchange end. But there is a way for you to monitor, and the key to everything is that Discord. Do join if you haven't yet already.
Oh, I just got a message from Tone Vase saying you should check the live chat. We might have some questions. Let's do a bit of a Q&A.
Yeah,
Lots of questions. Here we go.
So the live chat, I couldn't figure out how to get the Financial Summit chat to be viewable on the stream, but you guys can see it on, if you're watching on the Financial Summit YouTube channel, you have the chat on the side, so you can at least see it there. So there were a few questions in regards to people not receiving their one-time password when they set up the bot. So when you go and, or sorry, not the bot, set up their black box account. If you are not receiving verification emails, you have to get into the Discord. You have to set up a support ticket. Our developer will take a look at your email, and it's possible that you've already did it and maybe you forgot, because we've been kind of talking about this for a long time. So a lot of people have set up black box accounts and forgot. It is very easy to set up. So it's that has been a common occurrence, but regardless, we'll be able to figure out why you're not receiving the emails if you are indeed not receiving them, and get your account set up. As far as other questions, let's take a look back here. Does Bangbox 24/7 take short trades? Bangbox is a long only strategy. We do not have a short-term scalping strategy that takes shorts. We are going to be releasing Blackbox, which is our macro swing trading bot that will have the option to be long only as well, but it will also do shorts at low leverage. So there are ways for you to short the market with the bots. Currently, our strategies are long only, which is, you know, we both believe we're in a bull market, so we think the products fit the current market conditions, but there will be shorts coming.
Yeah, and just to broach on that for a second, this is Bangbox. So there's two options here. It's just the always on long only bot, or it's the always on when the wave is green and then just in cash thereafter. So there's two options here. But we're going to be bringing, this is a network black box. Bangbox is this particular bot. I know the names are confusing. This is Bangbox, but Blackbox is the company. We're going to have a fleet of bots. We're going to have 100x bots. We're going to have investment bots. We're going to have buy
dollar
the dip,
cost average bots, buy the dip bots, yeah,
short bots, shitcoin bots. We're going to have a whole fleet. We've got them. This is just the first one that's being released. So you got to get on board here. There's going to be so many great tools that you can use. Next question, my friend.
Okay. Is this going to be live on 2bit as well? So 2bit, we are ready to build with 2bit. 2bit has made some verbal agreements with us in order to get the exchange ready to build a bot. And as it stands right now, they haven't met the time. They haven't met their time frames for when they said that those would be delivered. So as it stands right now, it's kind of in 2bit's court as to whether or not we can't develop yet. We can't develop with 2bit because they haven't put a few things in place that are essential for us to create these bots. When
they're a new exchange, and they haven't got the infrastructure in place that we need. These are quite sophisticated. You look at the UI here on the dashboard and everything on Blackbox, and it looks just like there's nothing here. But believe me, there's a lot that's in the back end that needs to be in place that makes it look so simple. It's not simple, and 2bit's working on that, but they're not available yet. We do have Blowfin coming on. It may be in the next week or two, which is a fantastic exchange as well. We're very close with the executives at Blowfin, and they have a fantastic API back end.
Yeah, a lot of the people that set up a 2bit account did so for the non-KYC. So, you know, we apologize that 2bit isn't ready, but Blowfin is. Blowfin's ready, and we were pretty much 95% completed the process with implementing the bot on Blowfin. So if the reason you chose 2bit was for non-KYC. If you're in the UK, if you're in the US, and you just didn't want to dabble with a KYC exchange like BitGet, 2Bit is going to be your option, and that will be live very shortly. Very shortly. Sorry, Blowfin. Too many bits.
Yeah. Links in the description below. So you know the drill. Next question.
We had trouble with the tech getting it up on 2Bit. Oh, okay, yeah. Sub account says demo. Yeah, so if you're having specific issues with your sign up process, just start a support ticket. The support chat is getting large because, you know, it's a launch. We have a lot of people that are like, okay, here we go. It's time. It's go time. So we will get to it. I've been averaging 24 hours. So I will get to every support ticket within a 24-hour period. So we'll get you there. But the support ticket and the Discord is going to be the best place for that. Other questions? I think that's kind of it, unless I missed one. Maybe Tone can enlighten us as to what question he thought was important to address. I'm just going to check on the Black Box's chat. When you say the bot is trading all the times and makes more money, is it counting the commissions? So it's counting the overall P&L. So we're talking about the 24/7 bot again. It made twice as many trades, but it didn't make twice as much money. So we already addressed the fact that it is technically less profitable trade to trade. It has a lower lower profit factor, and it has a lower success rate. But because it's taking twice as many trades, and because Bangbox is a compounding system, it does have the opportunity to outperform green only. So is it taking into consideration commissions? No, you're going to be paying twice as much commissions because you're taking twice as many trades.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's right. Tone's posted in the live chat on the Financial Summit some questions for us, mate.
Once you activate the bot at 90%, are you able to drop it down to, say, 25% later? No. But let me show you exactly how you would do that. It's so easy. Once the API, like we said, the API is the hardest part. Okay, I want to drop it to 25. Delete. Watch how quick this is. It's super, super fast. It's super easy. Go to bots. Create new bot. BitGet. Bangbox. Bitcoin. Set it to, what did you say, 25%? 25%. Create bot. Done. It's really easy. Super easy. Okay. So once you get familiar with the platform, you'll realize just how user-friendly it is. We've spent a lot of time to make it user-friendly. We really wanted it to be simplistic. So although there is no way to kind of edit the bot, it's really simple to just delete and create a new one. I just did. Took 2 seconds. Yeah. To clarify, this is a bot you run on your local computer. This is not locally hosted. We have the servers. So you don't need to have this application on all the time. The bot will run all the time. We receive the signals from TradingView, which is a cloud server based system. And the signals are executed with our cloud server communicating to the exchange, which is also a 24/7 server. You don't need to have any of this stuff on at all. You don't need to download a local version of anything. Set it, you close all the tabs, it's running in the background. What size account is likely to run into issues getting filled? Well, we haven't really run into that yet. Issues getting filled, these are executing market orders. So you're not going to run into issues getting filled. You're going to run into issues on spread, and we're talking huge positions. If you're going to put $1 million into this bot at 10x leverage, you're going to run into a lot of slippage. Okay. The other side of that spectrum is true as well. If you're working with the minimums, the exchange fees for opening up the trade are going to represent a higher percentage of the total gains than you would if you had a higher, a larger account. For example, when we did the beta, we told people to put $100 in. We had several trades that were 2.5% wins. And the people that put in the minimums actually received a break-even trade. They didn't get that 2 to 2.5%. Whereas Matt didn't listen to the beta instructions and put 10 grand in, and he did get that. So there's two sides to that. You can put too little, but I think we've created the minimums high enough that that's not a problem. And then you can absolutely put too much. If you're going to put, really large positions on that eat a huge chunk of that order book, you're going to experience slippage. That's a really good question. What happens if one of the cloud server services go down? Then the trade will not execute.
Yeah.
So,
but your funds are safe. You'll just miss that trade.
You're just going to miss the trade.
You're
we have things in place for exiting the trade, but more often than not, what will happen if there is an issue with the communication? We focused a lot on security. We focused a lot on signal redundancy. There's a lot, because this was a large concern of ours. If the servers are down, you are just not going to get into that trade. You're not going to miss the exit. You're just not going to get in.
And most of these trades, like a long trade for us, the longest I've seen is probably 12 hours that we're in the trade. Most trades last 4 to 6, 8 hours, and they can last as little as 15 minutes as well. Yep. So, I mean, so the fact is, like, although the fees are there, the fees are there when you trade regularly. When you're 10x leverage trading, there's definitely going to be fees. I don't have a workaround for that. Create your own exchange. I don't know. But the fact is, we're not going through funding rounds after funding rounds after funding rounds after funding rounds. You're not staying in the trade for 8 months and every 8 hours you're getting stung. Normally it's one. So that's quite good in that sense. If you can make 23% in a trade throughout one funding round, you're laughing.
Yeah, we got another question. How secure is BitGet? It's secure. It's as secure as any other exchange. It's and this is a good topic. We're not here to tell you put all your fucking money into the thing. You need to diversify your portfolio with security, not only assets, but diversify through security. Most of your stack of Bitcoin should be on a wallet that you control. When we put funds onto the exchange, those are trading funds. Those trading funds, if the exchange goes down, we've seen Mt. Gox, we've seen FTX, these things do happen. Binance is the same. It's just been around longer. It hasn't gone down. A lot of these exchanges, they always carry that risk. So ensure that the positions that you're taking on any exchange match your risk profile. If you are not willing to lose those funds entirely, then it sounds like that's your hodl. That's your hodl position.
I don't even think we need to talk about this. I mean, it's a very good point, but we're not here to lecture you on how to trade and what your risk tolerance is. There was a comment on last week's Financial Summit video that it was the cringiest effing comment I've ever seen. One guy was blaming Tone Vase for losing him $50,000 of unrealized profit because Tone was bearish in one of the shows. So Tone closed his trading position. So he closed it, and then the price of Bitcoin rallied 4,000, and he was aggressively blaming Tone because if he didn't sell, he would be up 50 grand right now. And he's calling us all the names under the sun. If you're this person, or if you're a person like this, I don't want your business. Go fuck yourself. You're an idiot. Do you know what I mean? Seriously, you have to understand, if you're trading on an exchange, put an amount, trade within your own lane. Do you know what I mean? If $500 is a lot of money for you, don't trade. Go get a job, for Christ's sake. This is not going to save you. This is a passive income and a Bitcoin accumulator, a USDT accumulator for people who can afford it. You know, it's a free bot, but money's not free. Bitcoin's not free. You choose your own level of involvement here. I'm not going to tell you what percentage of your own personal net worth you should put into the bot. If you have to ask me that question, don't use the bot. You go
All right.
understand money.
We'll,
I'm getting aggressive.
we'll settle you down. We'll settle you down. And then there was a follow-up with that. Why not have an option for Binance? So it's important for us to have a good relationship with the exchange. We have reached out to Binance, and they have not really shown the ability for them to really want to nurture any relationships. From our point of view, it's all about customer service and a good product, okay? And if we can't tweak things that the exchange needs to do, if every request that we make to the exchange falls on deaf ears and they just don't listen to it, that really limits our ability to provide a good product. So we want to partner with exchanges, and it just so happens that they happen to be, you know, newer exchanges and smaller exchanges that are willing to work with us.
And just to that point as well, when it comes to BitGet, when it comes to Blowfin, and to a lesser extent, really, I've lost it. 2-Bit, excuse me. I personally know the executives out there. I've met the management team. I don't know if you saw, I was flown to Vietnam with BitGet, met all and filmed a commercial for them. I've known them for years. And the Blowfin, I know the executive is like a brother of mine. I know these people very, very closely. I've been in the offices. I know these people. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in the future if they're scammers or whatever. I can't verify for that. I've done my due diligence. I personally know them, and I've put my money in those exchanges and I've used them, and I've never had an issue. So that's all I can say to verify that.
And to kind of add to that, a lot of the concerns that come from these newer exchanges is liquidity. So, you know, I would much prefer to pull from the liquidity of Binance because it's such a large exchange. You have so much more liquidity. What a lot of people don't know, this is a new service that Binance offers to exchanges, which is why you're seeing a bunch of exchanges pop up, is they're doing market making and liquidity provisions for these other exchanges. So on the matter of liquidity, Blowfin is Binance liquidity, just to let you know. Blowfin uses Binance liquidity. So if we can get a good product, good customer service, and good relationship with the exchange and get Binance access to Binance's liquidity, we're going to take that option. So just to let you know where we're coming from and why we've made the decisions made.
Yeah, I want to work with an exchange where at 4 a.m. I can message the dev team and be like, "Hey, we need help with this," and they respond. They view us as a valuable clientele, and when I say us, I don't mean me and Baloo. I mean you as a collective are their clientele. They consider us KOL, you know, key operating leaders for their exchange. They value our custom as a collective, and some exchanges don't. So I want to work with the ones that want to work with us. For you.
Okay.
Well, if there's no more questions, Blue, we might wind this show up.
Yeah, I think that's it. So I don't even know how long we've been. Oh, we've been going for over an hour now. So it's probably time to wrap it up. Super excited. If you guys have follow-up questions, again, plug in the Discord. That's where all the action happens. If you don't have a Discord account, you should have one. Honestly, if you're in crypto, you should have a Discord account. So we will see you in the Discord. Thank you all for joining in. We're stoked. We're very happy to have this finally live and ready for the next signal, which we think is coming very, very soon. Not only do we think a signal is coming soon, but we're both really bullish on Bitcoin. The timing couldn't be better for this. Very excited. Happy that you were all able to join in. And yeah, can't wait to see where this thing goes. Matt?
Thank you, guys. Just to echo the point, thank you so much for your support and for joining us today. Special thank you to Tone Vase, who's infinitely supportive of us. So thanks again, guys. Good luck. Happy trading.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.